Man. What is going on, everybody? I am Rob Westerman III of GBP Daily, and thank you for tuning in to the Rob Westerman Show. It is Tuesday, July 29th, and today we had a fun, hot, and an exciting practice at Rainitsky Field. It was so hot out there, probably 85, 90 degrees, humid, but we stuck it out. Romeo Dobbs, a name that just keeps popping up, as I'm sure you guys have seen on your timeline, and rightfully so. He's been balling out so far in camp. Today he went up against Jair in one-on-ones 3 straight times, and that led to Jair begging to run it back for a 4th straight time. He didn't get to, but nonetheless, Jair couldn't get the best of Romeo today, but it's good to see. It's good to see Romeo kind of coming out of the shell a little bit. And I think with the wide receiver room being so stacked that names get lost in the shuffle, I think Romeo is shaping a possible leader on the field, and off the field in that room. It's been reported, and I've seen a little bit that the younger guys have been going up to him for advice, questions, anything. He's kind of got a more calm, quiet demeanor. So that's good to see. Eric Stokes entered practice today in team. That led to the offense doing push-ups to cap off practice. Devontae Wyatt had a sack today. Clifford had some nice throws, including a few touchdowns. Grant DuBose, who I was talking about yesterday, had a touchdown catch. Lucas Van Ness had a sack today. Jaden Reed had a touchdown. And to cap off the notables, Anders Carlson went 5 of 6 on field goals today, while Greg Joseph went 6 for 6. So James Turner, who was the 3rd kicker on the roster thus far in training camp, he was released. So it's just between Anders Carlson and Greg Joseph to finish out training camp, finish out preseason. It should be a down-to-the-wire battle. Totals for those two so far through week 2 of training camp. Anders Carlson is 21 of 24 on his field goals, and Greg Joseph is 22 of 24. So the kicking battle is as tight as it's been so far. And although I do see Anders winning the job, I give mad props to Greg Joseph, giving him a run for his money, so to speak. But a lot of training camp left, 3 preseason games, and there's going to be plenty of time for either one of them to keep it rolling before a decision is made. Practice today. They got practice tomorrow. They got practice Thursday. No open practice on Friday. And then Saturday is family night. So if you haven't been to family night, I highly recommend it. I was there last year. It was a great time. They've got fireworks afterwards. And outside of years past, it was actually great weather. I'm not exactly sure what the weather's going to be looking like this weekend, but up here in Green Bay, but it's a great time. So if you have not been, I highly recommend it. As I said yesterday, I am pumped to be coming to you live from Green Bay this week. I'm here to soak in some training camp, eat some good food. Went to Crow's West for lunch today. Had the perch. And it was great. Always enjoy my food whenever we stop there. And as you may have noticed, my background has changed ever so slightly. I am not in the comfort of my own home office like usual. And if you were tuning in yesterday, I apologize. My computer died about 20 minutes into the show, so I got cut off a little early. And that will not be happening today. So got it plugged in and we're ready to go. All right, let's get into why I'm here, and that is to chat some Packers football with you fine folks on this beautiful Tuesday. Let's start it off here. Jason in the chat, man. Good to see you. Go, Pack, go. I appreciate you tuning in. Really appreciate the support. You are the man. Mark, how was 8? Josh Jacobs. I don't know if you missed it yesterday. I actually saw Josh Jacobs at Dave and Buster's. Him and his girl were playing some games yesterday at Dave and Buster's, like usual. Like nothing was happening. They were just having a good time. Better. Seems like the offense overall has been picking up kind of a little bit of steam here over these last couple of days, especially since Jordan's been back. But so far, so good. Hasn't had a ton of huge plays, but he's been looking solid. And outside of football and plays and whatnot, he just looks big. He looks the part as a running back should in the NFL. So thanks, Mark. Dave, go Pack Go from San Diego. Dave, good to see you, man. It's been a minute. Where you been? Where you been? Tyler, let's go. Let's go, my brother. My brother from the same mother. Rennie, go Pack Go. Rennie, good to see you, man. Thanks for hopping in the chat. I appreciate you tuning in. Dave Bennett, kicker position is going to be a good one. Yes. So far, it is neck and neck. I do think if it stays like this, they'll stick with Anders, which is fine by me. I know he had a tough time and tough go of it last year. Nothing horrible, but he wasn't great. The extra points are the things that is the thing that I'm kind of most concerned about. I've said it many times before. There's nothing worse than the offense going down, scoring a touchdown, and then follow that up with a missed extra point. So hopefully they can at least nail down the extra point issues, not only with Anders, but the snap, the hold, the protection, that whole unit hopefully can improve. So Greg Joseph, though, man, he's 22 of 24, and I believe, let me double check that I just read it off. Yeah, Joseph is 22 of 24, and Carlson is 21 of 24. Now, I will say the miss he had today, it was a high snap, bad snap, but the holder got it down and got it good, but it's still a miss. So hopefully just everything can be a little more smooth, a little smooth operating in that unit. You need to have as much chemistry as you possibly can because those are big, big plays. Is family night televised? I know across the state it is televised. I'm not entirely sure how far that reaches outside of the state of Wisconsin, but I'm sure somebody will be live streaming it. I'm sure you could find some way to watch it. I won't be staying here up until family night on Saturday, so I'm going to have to be finding a way to watch it as well. So, Dave, if I find out where it's televised or where you can watch it, I will shoot you a DM. So, thank you again, though. Appreciate the comment. Yoli over on Facebook. Go Pack Go from Chicago. Man, you are in enemy territory. I'm sure you've enjoyed being a Packers fan, living in enemy territory over the last decade plus, 3 decades. So, thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. Ed F, please send a hello to the Brazilian Packer fans. FYI, we are the biggest fans here in Brazil. That is so awesome to see, Ed. Thanks for your comment. That I'm sure you're pretty pumped for week 1. I'm not sure if you're going to be going, but that is going to be a fun game. I like it because it is an Eagles home game, so we don't get gypped out on the home game getting taken away from us like we did last year. So, and then on top of that, we also don't have to travel to Philly. Philly, as everybody knows, is a tough place to play. The fans are pretty rowdy. They're not as good at fans as us, but I will say they are pretty rowdy. I've seen nothing but really kind of nasty things as far as how their fans treat opposing fans or opposing teams. So, Ed, I hope you enjoy the game if you are going. And he said, yes, I am going. Good. That is awesome to see. So hopefully we can fill that stadium up pretty good with some Packer fans. So, Ed, thanks for tuning in from Brazil. That's awesome to hear, man. I'm happy for you. Rosen, family night on Ion. Well, there you go, Dave. That answers your question. On Ion television. I'll have to figure that out and get that nailed down before Saturday night, an hour prior, just so everything's squared away. So Dontavian, Wicks, Greg Joseph over Anders. As at this point so far in training camp, yeah, Greg is one kick ahead. He's 22 of 24. Anders is 21 of 24. Like I said, I think if it stays this neck and neck, I think they'll give the nod to Anders just because obviously we drafted him. He's been in the system, or he's been on our team for a year now. And yeah, we shall see though. A lot of time left, 3 preseason games, a lot of practices left, a lot of time for either of them to get some work in, make the most kicks they possibly can, and let the chips fall where they may. Go, Pat. Go, Jason, since the last century. That's right, my man. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Wait until the Eagles get a load of this Packers team. Yeah, the Eagles finished off pretty rough last year, so I think they're going to be itching to get some sort of momentum going to start the season. Last year ended terrible, so it's not gonna be an easy one. No team is, obviously, that goes without saying. But Jalen Hurts, those guys went to a Super Bowl. They got Saquon Barkley over there now. You know, their wide receivers are stacked. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith. So we'll have our hands full, but I think they'll also have their hands full with our squad. So, Rosen, what time do we need to line up to get a decent seat in the bleachers tomorrow? Rosen is referencing training camp practice, and I know last week was pretty insane. You had to kind of be there super early. Excuse me. And I also, to be honest, we were watching the guys ride down this morning, and when they all were done riding down, we were walking over, and the bleachers were just kind of getting shut down. They were filled. That is for along the side of the field. Now, on the end zone, closest to the Rush Center, those bleachers were open, and those are fine seats too. And those ones were in the shade, so that was nice. But I would say probably 8:39 if you really want to get a pick on your seats. Any later than that, you're going to be walking into not your pick of the choice. But as I said, after we were watching guys ride down bikes today, that was about, 10:30, 10:25. We were walking over, and there was still some seating in the end zone. So that's what I recommend. I recommend, watching the guys bike down, unless you're going there specifically for practice and want to watch in the seat of your choice. Watch the guys ride down. You can hop in a decent seat in the end zone, and you should be good to go. Dayton, what's going on tomorrow? Just practice, man, hanging out, hitting up practice in the morning. Gonna hit up Stadium View probably 1919, one if not both of those. So just chilling. Lang, what's the running back situation look like? Thank you for the comment, and thanks for tuning in. A.J. Dillon had, and I don't know if it was, I couldn't tell if it was on him today, but there was a fumble during the exchange on a handoff, and I couldn't tell if A.J. Dillon was at fault or the quarterback. And so just a little note I had from A.J. Dillon. Marshawn Lloyd practiced for the first time this training camp. He was doing really well in OTAs and minicamp until he had a hip injury kind of flare up. And up until this point, he has not practiced until today. So he was out there. And then you got Josh Jacobs, steady as can be, leading the way there. So I said earlier last week, the running back shares, as an uneducated guess, I would say would probably be Josh Jacobs, 50, 60%, and then maybe a split between A.J. Dillon and Marshawn Lloyd, depending on who's kind of got the hot hand. So I think those are your 3 running backs. Now, Emmanuel Wilson has had a really good training camp. He's had a couple of good runs just about every single day. I know a lot of us remember him from preseason last year, kind of sparking off some long runs and having a great preseason. So not set in stone yet for Josh Jacobs, A.J. Dillon, and Marshawn Lloyd to be the only three on the roster, or the three on the roster. Emmanuel Wilson is kind of hanging around, doing well. So it wouldn't. It's so early that it's hard to really say. But thank you, Lan, for the question. I appreciate you tuning in. All right, all right. Jason, who has been your surprise player so far in training camp? That's a great question, Jason. There's been quite a few guys who have really made some plays so far that are kind of, you wouldn't expect right off the top of your head. Evan Williams, the rookie safety, he's had a few picks. I think he's had 4 picks, and 2 of those each came on 2 one day, 2 the other day. So he's been doing really well. As I just got done talking about, Emmanuel Wilson had some good runs, what seems to be just about every single day. But I'm going to have to go with Parenti Bose. I think this wide receiver room, I thought this wide receiver room was pretty airtight heading into training camp, but he's making a case to make this roster and not only land on the practice squad and be called up every once in a while for a body. I think there's a legit chance or path to making the 53 for him. So it's early, but so far that is who I would choose for my surprising player for training camp. So, Jason, thank you for the question. Appreciate you, man. Excuse me. Go. Lloyd in the goal line offense, Dave. Yes. Excuse me. Yes, Marshawn. Big things expecting out of him this year, at least for me personally. He was too good at USC to kind of just sit in the shadows and not get some touches, not get some plays drawn up for him. So, hoping to see a decent amount of Marshawn Lloyd this year. Dayton, how's Watson looking with his hamstrings? Did the camp that he went to help? He's looked great so far. I haven't noticed any setbacks or him looking slow or looking anything other than fast, tall, in good shape. Funny story about Christian. He was riding back from practice today, zooming back, and then a group of kiddos were asking for his autograph. He parked the bike, came back, and man, I sat there and watched him sign probably 30, 40 autographs. So good to see Christian taking some time for the fans. That is always good to see. Aaron, opinion on Stokes. Man, Eric Stokes has been balling. He had a pick today to end training camp against Jordan Love during the teams. So, I mean, he's just been balling out. I think he's kind of reminding everybody that he was drafted in the first round, and he's got potential to be a good starting corner and a good one opposite Jair. So I'm excited to see what Eric is going to continue to do this training camp, and then obviously this season. He's either going to win that starting cornerback job and or still get a lot of playing time. So Eric Stokes, I always loved watching him. He's had the injury bug the last couple of years. But if he can do anything like he did his rookie year and then hopefully improve from that, and that's one of the better starting cornerback 2s in the NFL. So thank you, Aaron, for the question. Appreciate you tuning in. It means a ton. I see you think Stokes starts or Valentine and King take his spot over. Keelan King did have a pick 6 against Jordan Love yesterday. And as I'm sure you guys know, if you've been covering anything from the draft, Keelan King before last year was projected to be a first rounder, a high second round pick the year before last. And then he had a not so good year at Penn State. And then we snagged him in the 7th round. So I hope he makes the roster. And I've heard other Packers content creators and experts, if you will, say, that's a perfect type of Gutekunst pick. Guys who were great and then have a down year right before the draft and they fall a ton and then boom, we snag them and hope that that's all that was a down year. So hopefully, I think he makes the roster and not sure if he'll get a ton of playing time right off the bat, barring any injuries to the cornerback room, but he is talented. So appreciate the question, Nicey. Haley, if I were to bring my kiddos to camp, would he be able to get any autographs? Great question, Haley, and thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate it. Short answer is most likely. There's no guarantee, as you probably know, but if you're in the right spot during the right time, your chances are pretty good. Tell, excuse me, the Christian Watson story I was telling about earlier. Um, I did see him before practice, and he said, "Hey, I'll sign all your guys' stuff after practice." To a couple kiddos that were next to me, and he did just that. He was riding down the bike, and once he parked it up towards Lambeau Field, he came back down and signed a lot of folks' items, and we had already been on our way out, and he was still signing stuff. So good on him. But yeah, just be respectful, ask nicely, and if they decline, not a big deal. Your chances go through the roof if you've got a personalized item you're wanting a certain player to sign, for example, like a jersey or something along those lines. If they see you're supporting them specifically, then they'll make more of an effort to go out of the way to get to you. So, my advice for if you're wanting to get autographs or pictures or whatnot, stand down before practice. Stand down at Radnitsky Field, kind of towards where they walk in, and then after practice, do the opposite and stand up towards Lambeau, where they kind of end the bike ride, get off the bike, and saw a lot of guys signing a lot of stuff today. So, thank you, Haley. Appreciate the question. All right, guys. I think that's probably going to have to do it for me. It's been a long day. It's been hot. It's been whew, it's been a good day of practice. Good day at Green Bay so far. As far as the show goes, that is gonna do it for me today. The content though never stops. I'm always posting anything Packers related all day long. So be sure to follow me at GBP Daily on every social platform. If you are not already, it would mean a ton if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel at GBP Daily as well. I'll be back and at it again tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And until then, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.